movie is really, really bad.
And I think SnowWhite has become the pinnacle of this. You know, this is going to go down in history as an asterisk.
SnowWhite was supposed to be Disney's triumphant return to the magic mirror, polished, progressive, and guaranteed to print money. Instead, the project cracked that mirror wide open, spraying shards across Hollywood. Within months, a single princess had torched goodwill, gutted budgets, and even put CEO Bob Iger's legacy on the chopping block. How did a story built on happily ever after turn into the most combustible remake in modern film history? Keep watching.
A company like Disney so up against it. Why? Because it doubled down on DEI.
Because the rabbit hole goes far deeper than a poisoned apple. But Disney's first misstep hid in plain sight. When executives green-lit a $200 million live-action SnowWhite, they weren't just banking on childhood nostalgia. They were betting the castle. Fresh off pandemic slowdowns and an actor's strike, the studio slid the release to 2025, telling shareholders the delay would perfect the magic. Behind the curtain, costs ballooned, and pressure mounted to modernize every beat of the 1937 classic. A heroine who saves herself? Check. Diverse casting? Double check. To Iger, it looked like the recipe for a billion-dollar renaissance. To skeptics, it smelled like corporate alchemy, turning gold into lead. Yet the real flashpoint wasn't the script. It was the face wearing the crown. Rachel Zegler landed the role.
What I care about is how she hated the story because it needed to be wokeified and
role with Broadway pipes and Spielberg credentials. Headlines cheered, "Disney crowns a new kind of princess," but applause curdled fast. Some corners of the internet claimed the choice betrayed the fairest of them all concept. Others accused those critics of thin-veiled prejudice. Then Zegler complicated things herself. In press junkets, she gushed about the honor, but also promised a heroine who doesn't dream of a prince. A harmless comment in 2025, yet catnip
because I saw this thing and it was awful, like really, really, really bad.
For culture war pundits. The clip rocketed across feeds, and suddenly SnowWhite was trending for everything except movie magic. Still, no single quote stung Disney like the leak that came next. Paparazzi photos showed Zegler flanked not by 7 actors with dwarfism, but by full-size stand-ins draped in motion capture suits. Disney planned to shrink them in
post. There's like nothing in that set. All it was an empty movie.
Post and celebrate diversity with CGI. Instead, advocates blasted the studio for deleting opportunities for real dwarf performers. One reality TV star called the move a slap in the face, and the story exploded across tabloids. Overnight, Disney's feel-good update looked like a tone-deaf misfire.
They've been in a downward spiral,
alienating exactly the audiences it hoped to court. And just when the storm seemed to crest, the lead actress grabbed the mic again. Clips surfaced of Zegler chuckling that the original prince was a stalker, and that the 1937 film was weird. Detractors crowed, "She hates the role she's playing." Supporters argued she was simply updating outdated tropes. But nuance dies on social media. Hashtags
theaters are, of course, entirely empty,
like Ultra Boycott Disney and Not My SnowWhite trended for days, amplifying every angry podcast and YouTube rant. Disney's PR squad tried to pivot, pushing feel-good sound bites, yet each new appearance spawned fresh memes. The feedback loop was brutal and unbreakable. Meanwhile, the ledger in Burbank bled red ink. Between reshoots, strike delays, and skyrocketing VFX costs, insiders whispered the budget crept past Haunted Mansion numbers. Analysts predicted 9-figure write-downs before a single ticket sold. Wall Street noticed. Disney stock lagged the market, and finance blogs pinned part of the slump on SnowWhite uncertainty. For the first time in decades, investors wondered if the Mouse House had lost its touch. Desperate to stem the tide, Disney rolled out a glossy media blitz. It backfired spectacularly. Morning shows, late-night couches, TikTok teasers, Disney booked them all.
And SnowWhite is Snow Brown. Now, I don't have a problem with the fact that she's brown. I'm just saying everything about this has to be changed.
But scripted talking points melted the moment real questions landed. One segment ended early when Zegler veered into hot-button politics. Another viral clip showed an empty theater during a promo screening, Each misstep fed the narrative that the film was cursed. Instead of extinguishing controversy, the campaign poured gasoline on it, lighting up feeds faster than any trailer could. Composite reporting. And the person feeling the heat most wasn't even on screen. Inside the
Even the little kids who like Disney movies, even they don't seem to be turning up in droves for the movie because the movie is really, really bad.
C-suite, board members grilled Bob Iger. Why sink fortunes into remakes that enrage core fans? Why trust an untested star to steer a legacy IP? Leaks suggested contingency plans for new leadership if SnowWhite cratered. Iger, once hailed as Disney's steady captain, now looked like a gambler chasing losses. The Magic Kingdom had turned into a pressure cooker, one bad quarter away from a royal shakeup. But the final twist was still to come, and it echoed far beyond Disney's gates. Other studios watched the fiasco with morbid fascination. The message was chillingly clear. Tweak a beloved fairy tale too much, and the audience may burn the entire castle down. Conversations in boardrooms shifted. Should future remakes stick closer to source material?
Buy tickets is an important part of success in your industry. Rachel Zegler, I guess, didn't get.
Should stars sign stricter social media clauses? The SnowWhite saga became Exhibit A in every risk memo circulating Tinseltown. Industry commentary aggregate. So what happens next? Let's peer into the mirror one last time. Disney can still salvage its crown jewel, maybe with a quieter marketing push, maybe by fast-tracking a Disney Plus debut, maybe by shelving the project until tempers cool. But one thing is certain, the era of automatic fairy tale cash grabs is over. Fans now wield the loudest voice in the kingdom, and they've shown they'll use it. Whether Disney retreats to safer stories or doubles down on bold reinventions, the fallout from this single SnowWhite disaster will haunt boardrooms and bedtime stories for years to come.